You're paying $2,400 a month to rent in Austin. Meanwhile, 30 minutes up the road here in Taylor, first-time home buyers are closing on homes with lower monthly payments than your rent check. I'm Paige Morris, your local real estate agent for Taylor, Texas, helping first-time home buyers make the move. Now, today, I'm giving you a complete 2026 playbook, entry budgets, down payment help, offer strategies, inspections, flood zones, commute math, you name it, we've got it covered. Let's get you from renting to owning in 60 days or less. Now, let's talk numbers. Right now in Taylor, the sweet spot for first-time home buyers that we're seeing the most of is between $320,000 to $380,000. Now, we have several homes right around the average of $295,000 as well, which means you've got options in the 200s as well as the 300s. Especially if you're flexible on finishes or willing to look at homes that have been on the market a little bit longer. Now, for down payments, we're looking at about 5% on a conventional loan or 3.5% on an FHA. Quick heads up, on FHA, you'll pay mortgage insurance for the life of the loan. So factor that into long-term math. If you don't know what that means, I can get you connected to someone that can help coach you. Now, here's what a real payment looks like. Now, if we are averaging or talking about a home that's purchased at $350,000, just to keep it right there in the middle, property taxes in Taylor run about 2.38%. So roughly $700 a month need to be allocated for taxes. Add your principal, interest, homeowner's insurance, and you're looking at an overall payment between $2,500 and $2,700 depending on your rate and your insurance. Now, pro tip, shop your homeowner's insurance aggressively. I've seen buyers who are saving $20 to $60 a month just by getting 3 or 4 quotes. This adds up. Also, if you're needing someone to connect to that's local, guess what? I can help connect you. Let's take a look at down payment assistance. If you're trying to get in that first home and having 3.5% or 5% down feels like a stretch, there's help for that, which is awesome. Texas has state level programs and there's also local options depending on your income and credit profile. Now, some programs offer grants while others have a forgivable loan. The catch is you're going to need to meet income requirements, credit minimums, and the property type has to qualify. Your multi-million-dollar houses aren't going to fit in this program. So not every home works. Now, I can point you to the right programs with the right lenders. Just reach out and we'll figure out what fits your situation best. Now, let's take a look before you even tour a single home. Okay, if you're looking at purchasing in the next couple of months, 6 months, 8 months, get a pre-approval ahead of time. This is important. You want to aim for a 640 credit score or higher. This opens you up for more loan options or better rates. But here's the thing. If 640 is not where you're sitting currently, do not despair or do not fret, okay? There are several options for credit scores that are all the way down to 580. Now, if you're trying to set a goal and work on that credit, it helps to get a pre-approval so you know where you're at and you know which direction to go. Now, here's my advice. Get a document that has your W-2s for the last 2 years, 2 months worth of bank statements, your ID, and some pay stubs. Have all this ready to give to your lender up front. They're going to ask for it anyways. So if you start gathering these, you're going to be better positioned in a competitive situation when you might be up against someone else who doesn't have all their documents together. This is where speed matters. Now, the good news for 2026, seller concessions are back. And I mean back. I'm telling you right now on the buyer side, I've written almost all of our contracts have seller concessions built in, which means buyers are walking away with that credit in their pocket. Homes in Taylor are sitting on the market on an average of 78 days right now, which last year was 57 days. So this means you have leverage. So when I say they're walking away with this in their pocket, it means they're able to put it towards their down payment cost, their interest rate. Now, when you can put that seller credit towards a rate buy down, like a 2-1 buy down, it can drop your payment by hundreds a month just in the first year. Now, sellers want to close. This is their way of saying, hey, buyer, let's figure out a way to make it work. And the buyers walk away with that in their benefit. Now, inspections, never skip the inspections. Budget anywhere from $350 to $700 for a general home inspection. If the home's older or has deferred maintenance, a roof specialist or an HVAC technician might need to come out and do additional inspections. Just last week, I had a client who ordered an additional HVAC inspection, $185 with a local company. Definitely saved us. These aren't about a way to back out. They're about knowing exactly what you're getting and negotiating for repairs where it makes sense. Now, make sure we take a look at flood zones. Flood zones, it's not very common in Taylor, but there are spots that have flood zones. Most of Taylor's not in a high risk, but you want to make sure you know this before you go under contract, because if you're in a flood zone, you're going to have flood insurance, and that's an additional cost you want to budget for. As far as utilities with these homes, make sure you double check that your high-speed fiber internet or whatever you prefer has availability for that specific address, especially if you work from home. Something else to think about is if you're looking at new construction, there are also impact fees. These can add thousands to your closing costs, and they may not be obvious up front. So these are just some tips and tricks to think about before you go down the path of narrowing in your focus on one home in particular. So let's take a look at what it takes to get to and from if you're not working from home. There's one non-negotiable. Drive the commute during rush hour, both directions. Taylor to downtown Austin can be 45 minutes or it can be 90, depending on what time you leave. If you have kids, factor off drop-off time. If you've got other places to go, kind of get an idea of what that would look like for you on a regular basis before you write the offer. The house won't feel like a deal if the commute burns you out within 6 months. Now, let's take a look at HOAs versus non-HOA properties. Decide ahead of time whether you want an HOA or not. There are several neighborhoods in Taylor that come with HOAs and some that don't. HOAs come with rules like architecture approval and where you can park and what kind of vehicles you can have parked at the road, or whether you can add a shop or an ADU. Neither of these is wrong or are wrong, but you want to make sure you know ahead of time to make sure your purchase fits into your lifestyle. And if it doesn't, then we need to find a neighborhood that does. Now, let's take a look at our 12-month outlook, okay? Inventory near Highway 79 and downtown Taylor, it stays pretty tight. Prices are down a bit from last year, but well-priced homes are still moving. Being fully pre-underwritten and not just pre-approved can definitely put you in a stronger financing or negotiating position. So this is where it helps to get your ducks in a row with your lender ahead of time. So if you're serious about buying in the next 12 months, now's the time to get your financing locked and start building your target list. So here's your next step, or your homework. Download my free first-time home buyer starter kit. The link is in the description.